have to change these interception stats. They have to, because apparently some football fans are too simple-minded to actually break down what happened. We got box score readers. It's driving me insane. I thought in the state of Texas, we wouldn't have to, like, educate to this degree. That, like, people hear new football, so it wasn't just 3 more Dak turnovers first half, add it to the season total. He's got the most in the league despite missing 5 games. He's a turnover machine, instead of being like, okay, like, what actually happened? Like, when you're, again, I say the Texas parents have to be the best parents ever, like, because the blind loyalty. When your kid comes home and is like, I got in trouble, do you ask as a follow-up, what happened? What did you do? Paint me the picture. Tell me what the scenario was. Or do you immediately call the principal or the other parent involved and be like, you screwed little Johnny. I'm gonna come for you. Give me your address. I'm coming to your house. Because that's how people react to these games. 3 turnovers. We don't sit there, take a breath, and say, okay, it should be 2 turnovers because that was on Hendershot. The fumble exchange, was that on Biotish or Dak? The Dak Schultz interception was clearly on Prescott.
Yep.
So that was Dak's big mistake of the night. But up until that point, I was like, Dak is playing really, really well. Dak was heating up. And by the way, star up for Dak Prescott. An undisputed, non-debatable, in my opinion, star up for Dak. His QBR was outstanding with a 78.5. He wasn't being outplayed by Josh Dobbs, despite some of the Dak haters tweeting me. He was 29 of 41 for 282, 2 touchdowns, should be 1 interception, and he was sacked 1 time. And I just don't understand. That's why I broke out the liquor. Like, my wife was like, it's really late. Like, why are you stressed? The Cowboys are winning. And I'm like, Twitter. I'm going to have to get rid of my own Twitter account. Maybe RJ's right, staying away from this thing, because Dak Prescott starts 10 of 11, was clearly in a rhythm on that drive before Hendershot screwed things up. They were on the Titans' 35-yard line. They're getting ready to go in for more points, and then Hendershot bobbles that. Bam, Titans ball. But yet people, I mean, now some of the tweets have been deleted. Some of the accounts have gotten rid of what they said. The Titans' third-string quarterback is playing better than Dak. That's from James Peterson. You sound ridiculous. Let's see. This is from ZJ, the dummy of the night. Like, by far, the dummy egghead of the night. It's not even close. Saying, oh, you defend Dak no matter. I thought I was the Dak hater. Make up your mind. You know what that means? Balance. Fair as F. Where's my t-shirt? Oh, Bobby Belt is influencing you now. The Dak lover is on the show. Keep defending Dak. He pays your bills. I thought I was the Dak Prescott hater. TDK. I'd bench Dak just for the second half to change his psyche. Laughable. I just responded with a bunch of comedy emojis. If you can't see that the guy's playing well, if you attribute 3 turnovers to him, watch hockey. Tune into the Stars. They're a great story. You're embarrassing yourself. You are embarrassing yourself. I said the same thing 2 weeks ago after his game against Jacksonville. Against Philadelphia, some of you didn't want to let go of the pick 6 on the 3rd play of the game. Can't make one mistake. Forget about winning the game. Basically by himself afterwards. And I was drinking tequila. Thank you, Jared Sandler, for my birthday gift.
Tequila makes her clothes fall off.
Good God.
According to Joe Nichols. You know what's a fun stat here, Sean? Raw QBR leaders for the season now. Dak Prescott is 5th in the NFL. That shows the way he's been playing. Regardless of the interceptions, which, by the way, if you want to just, obviously, if he completes that pass, the drive goes on, the stat line changes significantly. But let's just say you...
Which pass?
The one to Peyton Hendershot. Let's say you just count that one as a catch right where it was, and that's the only thing we change about his stat line. Then his stat line last night is 30 for 41, 297 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. You take that. Like, you'd absolutely take that.
He can't throw a pick in a game. He can't have a turnover in a game, according to some. It's got to be 40-0. The Cowboys don't have any turnovers from the Al Bundys out here with this crazy, ridiculous standard. Did the Cowboys have a comfortable win? Did they make it more difficult? Was I impressed by the Cowboys? No. No to all those things. It was not impressive. But Dak Prescott was playing well, and Dak Prescott played fantastic, especially in the second half. So he starts off 10 of 11, and then in the second half, 12 of 16 for 137 and 2 touchdowns with a rating of 140 in the second half.
Woo!
Good Lord.
It's good. It's very, now again, some people, there'll never be people happy. Like, I'm sure people hear that number because you're supposed to do that against Tennessee with all their backups in there. Last night, I was curious. I was like, I'm sure the majority, 95% of people, 99% of people are going to say Hendershot's got to catch that. But I was curious. I immediately searched Twitter. I was like, let me find the people blaming Dak. So here were some of the takeaways. Our weekly Dak interception. This guy is ass. Nice to see, this is an Eagles fan, but still, nice to see Dak wanted to go Superman against the Eagles and then back to Essie this week. Dak is a liability. Come on, Dak, what's your problem? Dak is trash. You can't change my mind. Dak stinks up prime time. So this is...
it's like a car driving into your house and you're mad at your kids or your wife for being in the living room. That's how y'all sound. That's how those tweets sound, not y'all listening.
Yeah, that's 1% of maybe 1%. Like
it's probably...
I had to dig
15% just overall, like that I was dealing with last night. Can't say an East Texas opinion. Sharif is drinking the Bobby Belt Kool-Aid. Look, Dak Prescott is playing really, really well right now. The problem with Dak Prescott, you can't count on it week to week. He could have a stinker. It could come at the wrong moment. You don't know when it's going to come. When he's in rhythm and in a zone, the Cowboys can be carried to the NFC title game or the Super Bowl. I don't know if they can win it against the AFC. The question for them is going to be Dak's level of consistency at a great high level. Is he capable of it? Yes. Do we know we're going to get it? No. That is Dak Prescott's issue, but he's been fantastic, at least in the last 3 weeks. You gotta be, this is politics. I said it's politics, and it's why I hate politics. You gotta be willing to be like, yeah, your side is right. I was wrong for this game. He is playing well. You can go back to where you're dug in on, but being like, hey, he is playing well. That was on Hendershot versus you having to win and being married to your narrative because you'd lose your football card. You should lose it. So that's Dak last night, but it was driving me insane. Joshua Dobbs is outplaying him. Admit it. What?
What?
What are you talking about?
How many of those did you get?
I got like 2 or 3.
So
2 or 3. Josh Dobbs is clearly outplaying Dak. And it's all on my Twitter. It's all on there. So insanity. It really is.
It is. But I mean, this is the way it's gonna likely be for Dak for the rest of his career. And I cannot tell you, Sean, every time something happens,
and probably any quarterback here.
Romo
had. I mean, he was a freaking lightning rod too.
Yeah, Romo didn't really get acceptance, I don't feel like, universally until 2014, probably. And then there was all the hand wringing when he would go out in 2015 because it's like, oh my god. And then like at that point, the fan base had kind of come around on him. But I mean, you look at the way Dak has played and some of these interceptions that are absolute, like there's no other way to call them other than fluky.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know he's had his fair share that are on him, but man, it's every single time something bad happens. So he makes a bad throw, he throws an interception, whatever. Some of the interceptions that aren't even his fault. Every time, Sean, somebody in my Twitter mentions is saying 40 million. 40 million.
If you cannot subtract the Noah Brown interception and yesterday's Hendershot play from his interception total, from his turnover total, if you cannot and you refuse to do that, I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to hear anything you have to say about the sport. You're not qualified to even talk about it. If you cannot at least subtract those two. And PFF would say you need to subtract 7 of his interceptions from the total of 14. Like, I'm just telling you, you know when your parents say something, I'm like, Dad, you know, I know you're joking with me. Don't repeat that to your patients. Don't say that in the office ever. Don't ever say that. I'm doing you that favor if you were on my timeline last night. don't repeat that in public. Don't say that to anyone at the New Year's party, because they're gonna look at you as if you're chugging absinthe. They're gonna look at you like you're asking them for a random midnight kiss, like Peyton Russell is gonna try to do over the weekend. I'm just doing you a favor.